hitting the recording button. So we are recording, and I will go to the next slide. And the weather overview, I just took this weather story off of our webpage, which shows a ridge over the area and just a warming trend where we've got temperatures heading into the 50s and 60s. It looks like they max out at about Wednesday, Thursday, and then we've got unsettled conditions from Friday on through the weekend. And I will show you the 7-day forecast, and this is similar to what was on the briefing from last week. I wasn't here, but I pulled it up, and you see the averages and these max temperatures and min temperatures. I have this for the airport, Wenatchee, and Lewiston, so you can kind of tell the middle of the week we get well above our average highs, but we're near normal on the lows, which is good because that kind of slows down snowmelt. And again, you see similar situations there for Wenatchee and for Lewiston as well. And then when we start getting to the weekend, when the weak weather disturbances come in, you can kind of tell how the temperatures get interrupted by clouds, keeping the high temperatures from getting too hot, blocking the sun, and then also acting as a blanket and keeping from getting it too cool. So there's our 7-day. As far as precipitation, and then this is Friday night through Sunday for snow, and just shows you how limited it is for any really in the valleys. If you can see Mount Spokane there, that's probably above 4,000 or 5,000 feet, where just about all the snow is expected to fall, and maybe some trace amounts up there at Republic and along the east slopes of the Cascades, but nothing really that significant. The precipitation forecast, again, there's a lot of very low amounts. If you look here, that's close to hundreds in traces, so not a whole lot, and not a lot of wind. In fact, there's so little wind that I don't even have any graphics showing that. As far as our snow water equivalent, that's how much snow is in the snow, or how much water is in the snow if we melt it out, as far as column wise. And you can tell, for those of you that were on the call last week, we've lost a lot in the lowlands and basins. We're down to maybe a trace to possibly 4 inches in the lowlands. This is 2 to 4 right here, and it's probably closer to the 2 end in terms of what you see down here. So that's kind of the benefit of having a gradual melt, is gradually lose the snowpack rather than lose it all abruptly and cause issues. The basin snow water equivalent shows that we're near or slightly below where we should be, which is good for snowpack and how good we do in terms of water. And the 6 to 10-day outlook continues to show, we've switched the pattern. If you recall, the last real significant snow we had was Monday night and a Tuesday of last week, and that was a trajectory slightly from the northwest. And now we've kind of have a high pressure ridge oriented, where most of these features, if they do come to us, are going to come from the southwest, pretty much warmer trajectories, and we're not even getting any significant features. So that's why this above normal temperature is there, and near normal in terms of precipitation, and below normal on the west is there in terms of the 6 to 10-day outlook. As far as the melting and flood potential, for those that are interested, the temperatures again 50s and 60s, and then the temperatures falling near freezing versus below freezing. So you're going to see those diurnal melt curves where it kind of peaks during the the late afternoons and early evening hours, and then as the temperature drops, it slows down. There's a little bit of a lag. And then the ground is showing some ability to accept snow melt as it thaws, and then the stream flows are low. And then we already went over the snowpack. We have a hydrologic outlook that kind of hits on some of these things. There's a lot in this slide here, and I'll go over all of these. We've got rock slides, field flooding, small stream flooding, ice jams, and just the chances of it. And I mentioned earlier, this is a good situation to have a gradual melting, and the situation will allow things to improve during the higher mountain runoff season if we continue to do this. So as far as going over that ESF, we've got a chance of rock slides that just seems to always happen when snow melts. It's just kind of a normal chance. We're fairly confident in some of this happening. Field flooding, just poor drainage. It's still some locations that are holding on the snow. May see some pooling. I know this is a picture of some rain falling on it, but we don't have really much rain in the forecast, and even then it's pretty darn light for the weekend. But so that would be about the worst of the field flooding. And then the small stream rises. There's a good chance just because that's where everything kind of goes to. And then ice jams, we've got a pretty low chance of that because more or less we're looking for a significant rain that causes an abrupt, jostling of snow, and we've kind of lost a lot of that ice already. So we're not saying there's no chance, but it's pretty darn low right now where we're seeing, and it's usually pretty hard to forecast anyway. And then a low chance of river flooding. Just because that's affected by the mountains, and that's really not going to start happening until April. So I hit on all those things that are in our hydrologic outlook there. And then the last slide is the spring river flood outlook, which shows higher flows in the Wenatchee, Snake, Clearwater, and Grand Ronde, but everybody else has kind of got an equal chance, 50 to 75% chance of reaching the flood. So nothing really too significant, but take it for what you will. Just stay informed. Our social media accounts will have the latest on all of that, and I will stop the recording right now and open it up for any questions.